What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this edition of the Sancocho Sports Podcast, hosted by me, Adrian Rodriguez. I was finally able to get a fresh, clean shape up. My first few videos, I was looking a little rough, man, but I was like, running up and down all over the place, trying to create content for you guys, and also trying to hold the full job, I should say. So it's not easy trying to, get to the barbershop every week. But I finally got a nice little haircut, nice little shape up. So we're ready to go for today's show. So today's show, we're gonna talk about a little bit what happened in last night's Friday, April 21st NBA playoff games, and also today we have a much anticipated boxing fight between two of the world's best at the lightweight division between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, both of which guys are undefeated and are regarded as the two best at their respective division. Um, Gervonta Tank Davis, he's known for his power. He's known for his knockout prowess. In his professional boxing career, he has a record of 28 wins, zero losses, zero draws. And of those 28 wins, he has come away with 26 of those being by way of knockout, meaning that he has a 93% chance of knocking you out in the fights that he's involved in if you're ever on the other side of the ring as his opponent. Meanwhile, Ryan Garcia, he's more known for his speed, although his power is not to be slept on because in his 23 professional boxing fights, he has a record of 23 wins with zero losses and zero draws, and of those 23 wins, 19 of those coming by way of knockout. So he has power as well. The thing that differentiates these two guys is the speed factor, which Garcia possesses, and also Garcia, he has the distinct advantage at height. Ryan Garcia stands at 5 foot 10 inches, while Gervonta Davis, he stands at only 5 foot 5.5, and only with possession and reach of 67.5 inches, as opposed to Ryan Garcia, who has a 70-inch reach advantage over Gervonta Davis. So if the fight were to go the distance, look for Ryan Garcia to exploit his advantages in terms of speed and height and reach over Gervonta Davis. But Ryan Garcia should be weary about, like I said, Gervonta Davis's power. His power, he has immense power. He's basically the lightweight version of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson wasn't the biggest guy. He was a short, compact, strong little guy, but he was able to get inside and fight guys bigger than him and put their lights out. So, a fighter of Gervonta Davis's, reputation with his repertoire that he possesses, his arsenal that he brings to the boxing ring. He's a guy that if you're fighting him, he's not a guy that you want to trade shots with. He's a guy that you want to keep your distance and as much as you can try to keep him from the try to stay away from the corner, from having him gang you up against the ropes and stuff. So you want to like try to use the size of the ring and the length of your arms if you're Ryan Garcia to try to keep him at bay for most of the fight. The way I see it, I believe I favor Gervonta Davis in this fight because of the aforementioned his raw power. He's just like it's just like devastating the power that he possesses. That's no knock on Ryan Garcia, obviously, but I just believe if I were to bet on this fight, I would choose Gervonta Davis in terms of coming away with the win. I'm of the belief that Gervonta can get into Ryan Garcia's defense, and the guy he's just amazing when it comes to his ability to just like punch a guy's lights out. Um, if Ryan Garcia is to win, though, obviously it's gonna have to go to the scorecards. Um, you know, um, you can't really go wrong with who the winner of this fight might be. But as I said, I believe Gervonta Tank Davis. I believe he's going to come away with the win because at the end of the day, his punching power to me is just going to be too much for Ryan Garcia to handle. But that's why that's why they're gonna have to fight tonight. See who's the better man, and hopefully we get a good fight because a lot of these fights, especially over the last 30 or so years, usually the most hyped up fights aren't the best fights when they actually go toe to toe. On paper, they look like they're amazing matches, and usually it's the no name fights of the fights of fighters that you never heard of or up and coming fighters that they're usually the fights that are the most entertaining. So hopefully this fight lives up to the hype. It's one of the most anticipated fights of the past at least 5 years in boxing. Two guys at the top of their game. They're young, they're hungry. So hopefully they put us a good show on there for us. The fights will be broadcast on Showtime and also the Zone DAZN. So if you guys are interested in watching that fight tonight, that's where you can find it, or hit up your local bar and enjoy the show there. So so moving on to the NBA playoffs. Last night, the games, some pivotal game threes there last night between first off, the first game that came on was the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. You kind of, the first two games in Boston, the Celtics, they straight up dominated the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, the Celtics, to me, are, if not the best team in the league, at least second best in the league in terms of coaching and their roster and how much depth they got on their team. But you figure, being away from home, they might, have a letdown game in one of these two games in Atlanta. And last night was that game for them. So they gave up a ton of points last night. Celtics are regarded as one of the best defensive teams in the entire NBA, and last night was not indicative of that. So they did drop that game last night, but I still have them winning this series. I actually had them winning this series in 5 games because Atlanta, although they've had a lot of turmoil throughout the season, they still do have talent. They still have guys like Dejounte Murray and John Collins and Brogdon Bogdanovich. And I'm sorry, Bogdan Bogdanovich and Trey Young. So it's not like they are devoid of talent. They just, they've had a lot of turmoil and, they haven't been able to figure it out all season long. But you kind of figure, it's the playoffs. Teams have letdowns here and there. But I still think Boston is going to wrap up this series in 5 games. So, it was just one of those games for Boston where, they just didn't come with their A game. And, Atlanta took advantage of that and they hit a bunch of 3 pointers. Both teams hit a bunch of 3 pointers. As a matter of fact, it wasn't a lot of defense played in that game last night, but good for Atlanta for at least showing some fight and you know pushing the Celtics a little bit there because the first 2 games they got absolutely steamrolled in Boston. So you kind of figure when you were watching those first 2 games, you figured Boston was just gonna make quick work of them, but good thing that Atlanta put up a good fight in that game. The other game, game three that was on last night, came from MSG, the series between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. It was the Knicks' first home playoff game of this postseason. The Madison Square Garden crowd was hyped. They were hooting and hollering. It was popping the night. They were buzzing. And the Knicks rewarded their fans with an absolute beatdown of the Cleveland Cavaliers. They wound up winning the game 99-79, held the Cleveland Cavaliers to 79 points, which in today's day and age of the NBA, with how much points teams put up, scoring 79 points through 4 quarters in an NBA game is almost unheard of. So you have to give the Knicks a lot of credit for that and their defense that they played last night. Their crowd was very into it. Of course, the Knicks, even though they haven't been such a good franchise in terms of producing a winner out on that court consistently for years, their crowd always shows up, they show out, and they're always in support of their team. So that MSG crowd last night was loving it. So they did a good job last night of taking back home court advantage right now. As they take a 2-1 series lead in that series, this is the one series that I believe is probably going to go the distance in terms of because usually the matchup between the 4 and 5 seed of either conference, that's usually the closest matchup, obviously in terms of record and style of play and all that stuff. So even though the Knicks smoked the Cavaliers last night, don't expect the Cavaliers to go away quietly. They have a talented team as well. They have a good roster over there too. So it's good that the Knicks were able to pull off that win, and um, we'll see what happens in Game 4 if the Knicks can take a commanding 3 games to 1 lead, or if the Cavaliers bounce back and are able to even up the series and go back to their home court in Cleveland, and with a 2-2 series tie right there. So that's going to be interesting to see. The other game that took place last night was the number 1 seed in the West. Denver Nuggets were able to take a commanding 3 games to 0 lead over the 8th seed Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, before this series started, the way that the Denver Nuggets ended the season, especially after the All-Star break, they didn't really look to me like a number 1 seed. And a team like Minnesota, even though they had an up and down season, I thought can give the Denver Nuggets some trouble in terms of you know pushing the Nuggets a little bit, But the Nuggets, they have proved me wrong, man. So far this series, they've looked like the way better team. They look like they're in complete control, and the Minnesota Timberwolves don't even look like they belong on the same court with them. And the first 2 games, the Denver Nuggets were led by Jamal Murray, who is looking like his old self from back in the 2020 NBA playoffs when he was like basically, if not the best player, one of the best players in the world in the bubble. So it looks like he's regaining his form from back in those days after sitting out most of the last 2 seasons due to injury. He's looking like he's regaining his form. But last night was the Nikola Jokic show. He put up a triple double last night in Nikola Jokic fashion, and he's showing why he's the 2-time reigning NBA MVP. He put on the show last night, and he was able to lead his Nuggets to the victory in the 3-0 series lead. So basically, the Minnesota Timberwolves, this next game, Game 4, are going to be playing basically for pride and to try not to get swept, try to extend the Nuggets at least another game. Um, in the NBA, we've seen teams go up 3-0, and it's not like hockey or baseball where we've seen teams come back down from 3-0 and actually being able to come back and win the series. In basketball, has never been done. Only one team was able to push the team with a 3-0 advantage to push them to a Game 7. That happened in the 2003 NBA playoffs when the Dallas Mavericks had a 3 games to 0 series lead over the Portland Trailblazers, and the Portland Trailblazers were able to push the Dallas Mavericks to a 7th game, but ultimately the Dallas Mavericks won the series 4 games to 3. But in NBA history, that's the only time that the series has even gone 7 games after a team went up 3-0 on another. So basically, the Minnesota Timberwolves are either going to try to make history and complete the comeback, which I don't see as likely because obviously the Denver Nuggets have shown that they are the much better team. They have the MVP, Jokic, and they have Jamal Murray once again playing out of his mind. He's actually been out playing Jokic so far in these playoffs. But then again, it could be that the opponent is just so overmatched that Denver just looks like they can destroy anybody right now. But still got to give them credit because they did get the number one seed in the West. They have home court advantage throughout the Western Conference playoffs. And until another team's shows us otherwise, they are the team to beat in the West in terms of record wise. I've always said that no matter what, no matter the matchups or whatever, the team with the best record, regardless of what you think, talent or whatever, who has the better team on what team, the team with the best record to me always has is the team that you have to beat. So as of right now, the Denver Nuggets they look like they're gonna coast to round one victory and host the winner of the Phoenix Sun LA Clippers series. And speaking of that series, Phoenix Suns LA Clippers series, um, you know injury bug has hit the Clippers again, namely in name of Kawhi Leonard, who he sat out Game 3 because of knee issues, and they are already saying that he's going to be missing Game 4 as well. So I expect the Phoenix Suns to make quick work of the Los Angeles Clippers as I predicted before the series started. But I had predicted that they would make quick work of them anyway because they were missing a key component in Paul George. And I thought that the load for Kawhi Leonard was going to be too much, and apparently it was because now his knee is barking, and he's not going to be able to play in this game as well. As the Phoenix Suns, who are already up 2 games to 1 in the series, look to take a commanding 3 games to 1 lead over the Los Angeles Clippers, who are going to be very, very undermanned going into this game later today. Um, Another series, a series that can be closed out today, is the Philadelphia 76ers. They took a commanding 3 games to 0 lead over the Brooklyn Nets. And the only saving grace for the Nets today is that the Philadelphia 76ers will be without Joel Embiid, who also has a knee that's bothering him, and he will not be playing in today's game. But the Nets are just overmatched in this series. I mean, we kind of all saw it going into the series. If you've been paying attention in the regular season, the Nets are just right now they're just a team of young players. They have a rising star in Mikal Bridges, but he's not quite there yet in terms of superstardom. He's still got a ways to go, but he's going in the right direction. But as of right now, he's just not a good enough player to elevate them and try to get an upset over a team as talented as the Philadelphia 76ers. Um, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they win this game, take advantage of Joel Embiid not being there. But I also would not be surprised if the Sixers close them out today, seeing as the talent disparity, even without Joel Embiid not being in the lineup today, is just too much for the Nets to overcome. I expect the Nets to be scrappy today, but I do expect the Sixers to pull out the brooms and put them out of their misery today. So we're gonna see how that turns out today. And the final game that's on today, a very pivotal, crucial game, would be Game 3 between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Los Angeles Lakers. That series is tied up at a game apiece. It's a pivotal game because you know the winner of this game goes up 2 games to 1 in the series, and in NBA playoff history, a team that goes up 2 games to 1 in a best of seven series after being tied up at a game apiece usually has a very good advantage. I believe the percentage for the team that goes up 2-1 in a 7 game series is 77% winning of chance of winning the series. So the winner of this series of this game, I should say, is going to have a pretty nice advantage going forward. Not saying that whoever wins today's game is automatically the winner of the series, but given the history of these 7 game series and the team going up 2-1 after being tied 1-1 in the series in Game 3, usually has a distinct advantage. But what's juicy about this game and going into this game is basically the challenge, the disrespect that Dylan Brooks put out there against LeBron James. The other day when the Grizzlies were able to win the game and tie the series up at 1, Dylan Brooks was interviewed after the game, and he basically said that he has no respect for LeBron James because he's old. He's already 38 years old, and that he doesn't respect anybody that can't drop 40 points on him. And LeBron James, he's a great all-time player to me. He's top 4 in the history of the NBA. He's not the greatest. I apologize. I'm a Michael Jordan fan. I think Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, but that's a debate for another time. Um, LeBron, if you if you claim to be the greatest, if you claim to be the greatest of all time, which you have done many times in the past, if you claim to be the greatest, you're greater than Michael Jordan, you're greater than guys like Kobe Bryant, you're just the greatest. This is the game you come out and you make a statement because Dylan Brooks is not on your level. I don't care how much older you are than him, how long you've been in the league. You're an all-time great, sir. So you got to go out there and show this guy. You got to shut his damn mouth because I'm not a Los Angeles Lakers fan. I'm not a Memphis Grizzlies fan. I'm a basketball fan. And anybody that comes out there, you ask anybody out there that's been watching the game for a long time, you ask anybody, would they dare say something like that to Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant with their killer mentality? No way in hell. There's no way in hell they would do that. So, LeBron James, if you claim to be the greatest of all time, which I highly disagree with, but that's neither here nor there. If you are the greatest of all time, you go out there and like Stephen A. Smith said on First Take the other day, you go out there and you bust his ass. You go out there and you give him a 50-piece with no fries and no soda. No napkins either, no ketchup, no barbecue sauce, nothing. Give him a 50-piece with nothing. That guy is not on your level. He should not be talking to you like that. You go out there and you bust his ass. No questions asked. If you want to be revered as the greatest, or if you just want to be in the conversation, you go out there and you bust his ass because he is not on your level and never will be. So you go out there tonight, you go out there, make a statement, and not only that, you win the game and you embarrass him and you shut him the hell up. Because guys like that, back in the day when Michael Jordan was playing, when guys like Larry Bird was playing, guys like that, oh, they gonna get cooked. They're gonna get cooked that night. They definitely gonna get cooked. So LeBron, if you claim that you're the greatest, like you say, that's bulletin board material. Matter of fact, you tell your teammates tonight, get out of my way. I'm taking over the whole game. I'm gonna teach this guy a lesson. So, you gotta go out there and just, embarrass that dude because there's no way a guy like that would talk to the likes of Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. I'm gonna talk to them like that and get away with it. Oh man, you got to get your ass busted for that. So, go out there and show them, LeBron. Show them. So, basically, that's the show for today. I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your playoffs. If you're a fan of hockey, hockey is it's not a sport that I'm very knowledgeable about. But every year the hockey playoffs are lit. For the older generation that don't know what lit is, it means it's great. It's awesome. So you go out there. Hockey, if you're a hockey fan, the hockey playoffs are always entertaining. Like I said, I don't know much about hockey. I need to do my best to try and get more knowledgeable with hockey because after all, this is the Sancocho Sports Podcast. And if you're a Latino and you know what Sancocho is, a Sancocho is basically a beef stew of meat, potatoes, vegetables, and all that. And in this podcast, I pride myself in talking about all the sports. There's a mixture of all the sports. That's why this is called the Sancocho Sports Podcast because we talk about everything. So I'm gonna make it my duty to learn about all the sports. I'm gonna talk about freaking miniature golf if I have to, guys. So so you could be entertained and you'll be able to like my content and subscribe to the channel. And that's gonna be all for today, my friends. Have a nice day and enjoy, guys. Take care.